man. You know it, man.
Hey, Jorge, a pleasure meeting you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Just have a quick question for you. How do you get in the zone when you're about to kick someone's ass?
And we do a lot of police training, and I've done a little bit of military training, and they ask this question a lot. And let's say I'm going to compete against whoever it is. I don't want to think so much about the situation, who's watching the fight, or who could be watching the fight or anything. I just want to think about my technique. I want to think about me giving the best of myself every second of every minute and every minute of every round. I don't focus on the outcome so much because I'm just so invested in what I do already. I know that I have so many hours of repetition on these certain techniques that it's going to be instinctive. And when I get in there, all I have to do is pull the trigger. I have to give it 100% of myself. I can't let the fear of missing stop me from playing the game. And you might be thinking again, I'm not playing baseball, Masvidal. I'm selling things here. I know, it's the same thing though, because you might not be willing to reinvest in yourself or in a business because you lost out on your other business. And something that I see in business a lot, you take that one blow, it's like we said, it's like when we take a loss. I got a lot of losses from my record. For the amount of money and fame that I've acquired, nobody has as many losses as me or as many wins as me in my current division. And it's just because I've taken those risks. I've gone and fought the most dangerous guys in their country, knowing that the judges are going to be from England, fighting a guy from England. I did that, and maybe as a business, it wasn't the smartest idea, but you know what I'm saying? If you're a bad motherfucker, that's what you do, you know? So you put yourself in the situations, you know?
No. Hey, George, great to meet you, man. I just want to hear a little bit about your attitude and your mentality, man. I want to know what's your mindset for, your next upcoming fight and how you feel. And
say the first part again, because it was breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I wanted to hear a little bit about your mindset and your mentality and your attitude. Want to know how's your mindset coming into your next fight?
My mindset is great, but my mentality overall is I love this sport. I love to compete. Like any good basketball player loves a one-on-one and loves to play basketball. It doesn't come from like a tough guy thing. It comes from more like this is what I love. This is my form of pool or tennis, and I'm like, in a way, I'm a competitor, but I'm also an artist with the moves that I get to pick and design for that particular event. So I just love it, man. The mindset is whatever the task is, just get it done. All those little small tasks that require, like, if I need to get better at my sprints, maybe I need to do more abs, I need to do more squats, I need to, whatever it is. And that sprint doesn't even mean that I'll become a better fighter. That sprint just means that I'll have maybe just a little bit more oxygen. Maybe, just maybe, I'll last like 2-3 more seconds in a certain position while I'm wrestling. And like all these little things eventually add up because everybody has to go through them as well. Everybody has to read the same books and digest the same data and be on the internet selling themselves. It's just, you gotta love what you're doing, like fully submerge it, you know?
Hey, how you doing, Jorge? My name is Michael. We got a quick question for you. How you gonna knock out, or how you gonna beat Usman?
Baptism.
I couldn't hear you. What you said?
Baptism.
Baptism?
Baptism.
Okay.
Break his fucking foot.
Nah, I don't break foots. I like breaking faces, necks, cheekbones, eye bones.
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Man, awesome job speaking, man. I think you're changing a couple lives, giving some great insight, brother. So appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, brother, you're killing it. Hey, I had a quick question. As far as sleeping, you mentioned the oxygen chamber. How serious is that sleep, getting that adequate amount of sleep? I think we all know it's important, but brother, you want to elaborate on that? And does that really help for that sleep?
All the way up to like I was like 14, I had like I think a regular sleep pattern. Like I would sleep 7-8 hours, and right around 14 I lost that. I would sleep like 5 hours, and I had to force myself to start sleeping over that. But it wasn't until I started forcing myself and getting those true hours of sleep, and it wasn't around 28, 29 that I started forcing myself. I read enough data on, and I used to think, oh, I'm just that guy, I don't need to do it. When I really started trying to get 8, 9, and 10 hours, I made other breakthroughs in the gym, and that's the amazing thing about my sport, that there's a direct correlation many of times. You know, if I'm running well on the track, that probably means I'm doing a little bit better in practice in certain situations. If I'm lifting more weights, means I'm picking up bigger guys, you know. It's instant gratification in my sport, and I'm able to see it and track that data as well. You know, the same way that you guys could track sales online, or if they're foot soldiers. you know, and sleeping immediately helped me physically, immediately helped me mentally, because we need to have our reflexes right and be able to see. And I was seeing constantly, I was just getting better and better as the sessions were going by. Sometimes we're having 2 sessions, sometimes we're having 3. And anybody that's had a demanding tool day in the sports world will tell you your mind starts to get like foggy and stuff. Well, the more you're sleeping and giving your body that break that you need, you're sharper. And you might be going, well, I don't make my money off fighting, but you do have to make sharp decisions. You might get that phone call and you only have 20 minutes to decide where you're gonna put these $20 million and blah, 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 blah. And you guys know the rest. I don't have to get into detail, but you know, you have to be at your sharpest at all times, especially in business, you know. In fighting, at least we get some type of notice. We get 6 to 8 weeks. In business, it's minutes, seconds, and you gotta make a decision.
Yo, what up, George? What's good, brother? So, you know, I've always been a fan of you since the beginning, you know, even in Bellator or wherever you fought before. Quick question. What are some of the mindful practices you're doing and changes you've made in your mentality to come up against Kamaru again in the second fight?
In the first fight, I wasn't supposed to fight him, and then they gave me the 6-day notice thing. So I wasn't as prepared as I could have been with the weight. I was in a different phase. I was trying to gain a little bit of weight since I didn't have a fight. And then the fight came up, and it was a good and bad thing. I wasn't the best prepared for the fight, but I did have the UFC by the balls because they needed a main event in 6 days, and nobody else could do it but me. So I made more money in that fight than my whole career, and that's because, you know, like I said, I had him by the balls. Was I at my best at that fight? No. But will I be at my best for the next fight? Fuck yes. Hell yeah.
What's up, George? 305, baby.
What's up, man?
Brad, 305. We know you take care of business in the ring. Now, talk to us about the team that takes care of your business, your brand, outside of the ring, and how important is that in your brand, in your business?
So important. I'll tell you another thing. I didn't make a lot of these breakthroughs either until this man right here. My brother from another mother came in the business, and a lot of everything in business and comedy, entertainment, actors, actresses, it's who you know and the powerful agencies that you're with, you know. When I had somebody that had many somebodies behind them pushing my name around saying, hey this, hey that, we're not gonna let you bully our guy, this is what we need, we know these rates, you know. So what does that mean? Attach yourself to wisdom, people that are good people and they've been there, done that, you know, so you don't have to bite that bullet. This is somebody that, I'm a fighter, that's what I do. I prepare for fights. So for a large part of my career, I turned pro at 18, all the way up to like 26, 27, I more or less managed my career. I fought, I tried to do everything, and that's something that I learned, like, sometimes you can't. You have to, what's the word, subsidize, right? Is that the word? Give those tasks to somebody else? There we go, delegate, you gotta delegate those tasks to somebody else. And when I met him, that's the first thing he told me, he goes, from now on, you are nothing but a motherfucking fighter, and I am nothing but a motherfucking manager. And I'm a Scorpio, so I have a lot of trouble giving control. Like, I have to drive, I have to hold the phone, and I was like, oh, you know what, let's try something new in my life. And I said, okay. And things started going better because he's the guy that looks at 20, 30 different contracts a day. Shit, I might see 4 contracts in a year, maybe 2, 3. He's constantly reading them. So as soon as we made that alignment, things really helped out. So the team is like a definite thing, you know, and that's just one of the things. The guy that does all my online stuff, Genghis Khan Productions, is another guy that's very dominant in that field, and I went, captured him exclusively. How much is you can't work with nobody else type shit, boom, you know. So that's what you want to do too. If you know the top salesman in your state is expensive and he's asking for money, and this is the guy that you need to win, just go and get him, you know, because that's what I do. I have a very good, outstanding credit in my line. There's nobody in my business that I owe money, and the best people that I could get, I go and do it. I don't worry about spending money. I worry about spending money on like stupid stuff, you know, like on jewelry or a car, something that's not gonna make me much. But as far as on things that'll make me money, yes, I will spend $1 million if I know I'm gonna get 1.1 back. You know, that's the type of person I am. I'm gonna get after it one way or another, you know.
Jorge, walk us through the self-talk you tell yourself to get up when you fall down, take a strong hit, or have a setback?
Like I said, I had a lot of setbacks in my career, broken bones, black eyes. I got knocked down, choked unconscious. I've gotten choked unconscious in practice many of times. And you have to be able to hit the reset button. Just forget almost about yesterday and start with this full commitment of whatever I did yesterday wrong, I'm gonna fix it right away. And whatever I was doing right, I'm gonna multiply those things. And that formula, everybody will have their own. I can't go into detail and give nobody their formula, but what I can tell you is when you find that square root, you have to have commitment. You have to be like, well, this is it, and I'm gonna go as hard as I can on this individual plan right here that I came up with by myself and see where it takes me. You know, that's what I've done, that's what I've usually done, and that's what works for me from move from a negative to a positive. You know, take everything good and bad, because if you take emotion out of it, there's only data left here, you know? Why did I get caught? Was my hands was down? Was I this, that? Same thing in business. Did you put up your business during Corona? Did you not invest enough in your marketing? Like, you have all of that there. You're ready to move on to the next one and go. You just have to like, all right, let me ingest this in and, you know, figure it out.
Hey, Jorge, I just want to say, first of all, I'm a fan. I remember watching you in those backyard fights with you and Kimbo.
Yes, sir.
And so my question is, when you were doing those backyard fights, did you realize you'd be as big as you are today? And what did you do to make sure that stays as big as it is?
I knew that was just going to be a place towards my path. I knew I'd be a world champion. I knew I'd make a living off of this. And the reason why I had that firm commitment is because this was my everything. You know, while everybody was going to the nightclub on Fridays, I was running down the streets, getting my miles in. On Saturdays, everybody was going to the beach. I was back at the gym. So I just had this firm belief, like, even if you were bigger and better than me, you couldn't tell me that I wouldn't beat you eventually and that I was going to be somebody in the sport, because I had so much of me already invested in the sport since a child, you know. Since a kid, this is all I knew I was going to do. There was no way to tell me. Injuries couldn't deter me, sicknesses. I was broke. I couldn't afford gym membership, so I'd have to, like, go work for 3-4 months and then come back and pay off these gym memberships. Nothing could deter me, you know. And that is, that's what it takes, I think, in anything in life, you know. Whether it's business or athletes, it's the same mindset. It's get it done.
Hey, Jorge. Hey, brother, I got a quick question for you. One of the things that we've been hearing over and over this past weekend was the ability to maybe capitalize on our social media as a way of pushing our brand forward and driving sales and reaching more people and using social media in that aspect. How has social media for you played a role in maybe pushing you from the backyard fights with Kimbo that we used to watch on YouTube in the heyday, all the way to, you know, talking about these big title contention fights and Nate Diaz and stuff? How did social media help you go from point A to point B?
Oh my gosh, it's huge now. Let's say with social media, I was like in the switch when, like, so it wasn't that cool, and then all of a sudden there was social media, and all of a sudden it's the biggest thing ever. So I wasn't ready for that, and I'm not too tech savvy either, and I hated pictures as a kid. So the original me is like, I don't want to do all that, but I started seeing, wait, there's money in this. Wait, I'm an idiot. Any product, any sponsor that I have that's with me right now, this is the best form of gratitude I could show them. I could constantly, you know, so for me it became like a no-brainer. The people that rock with me, the supplements that I actually do take, the gyms that I actually attend to, the coaches, well, let me give them as much publicity as I can, not just for myself, but I could help out everybody around me, because now my trainer went from getting like $15, $20 an hour to getting like $100 an hour, because his clientele's just through the roof, and he can't teach enough people. So it's not just about yourself, but you could better everybody around you nowadays with the social media. I think it's incredibly important. It's just a huge marketing tool. But I will say one thing, though, it's easy to get lost in that world, and you might start thinking, you see people on Instagram and they're like, man, this person's got a private jet and all types of things. You still need to focus on yourself, you know, and set your goals in line, but focus on yourself. Definitely, though, for a marketing tool, I think it's one of the best things. It's everything now, because it's free and you could reach millions of people with it. I mean, a lot of the business that I conduct is online nowadays. Yes, sir.
Jorge, this is Johnny Cash from Imperial Construction. Que vola!
Que vola.
I got a question for you. What is the biggest problem you've encountered, like as far as like going to your property, like as far as construction, the contractor approaching you, what is the biggest problem you had or encountered as far as,
Construction?
in one of your properties, like you had a maintenance problem where you had to reach out or.
That's a salesman right there, man. Give him a round of applause, man. I've had problems with the interior designer. We had a back and forth, and the panels that they ended up showing me at the end were nothing of what we discussed from the beginning. I won't mention names or nothing, but I just had like a bad experience, so I kind of been trying to do it myself now, because if I don't like the situation, I just try to figure it out myself. That's really it, though. I haven't had too many problems with real estate in Florida that I can think of, my brother. Florida's a good state to buy, I think.
Jorge, right here. So you have the bad motherfucker belt, right?
Yes,
Beating Nate
sir.
Diaz. Is there any plans for fighting him again? And when you fought him, did you have a different mentality going in there for the BMF belt? Do you have a certain BMF mentality when you go into every fight, or is that just something that was for that specific fight?
No, for every fight, I wanna separate myself as much as I can from the pack. Meaning, in basketball, you'd score 50 points on somebody's face. Well, in my sport, the way we separate ourselves, I gotta leave you unconscious, and it has to look like mercy, like the crowd is begging for mercy, because that's how you collect the big paychecks. That's why so many people tune into Mike Tyson and people like that, because we want to see that disparity, So that's what I do in every fight. I give it my full effort every time. Will there be a rematch? I don't know if that kid's still fighting, man. I mean, he talks about fighting all the time, but he hasn't fought since I fought him, and they've offered him to fight me, and all he does is talk on Twitter. I prefer to still just do it the old school way and just get in there and find out who's better, Yeah.
Hi, Jorge. Great to meet you. I'm wondering what your why is. Like, why do you wake up and do what you do every day? And when you lose track of that, what helps you recenter there?
Since I started, I just want to be the best in the world at it. It's like that thing that I wanted to own. Like, this is my thing. Nobody's better in the world than me. And this is greatly because of like kung fu movies and things like that. I just loved it, and I fell in love with it. And as I got a little bit older and older, I was like, wow, I could monetize off this. And then as I got a little bit older and older, until right now, I just want to be the most violent person that stepped foot in that cage, and that's what I try to deliver every time. So that's really what I go. I don't have to fight anymore, thank God, money-wise. But for me, what keeps me alive is that I feel like everything that I've accomplished right now, literally, and I don't mean it in a bad way, though it's disrespectful towards me, but it means shit to me, really. I only look to the front a lot of times. I don't like to live on past accomplishments or nothing like that, because I might one day get complacent, and that's my biggest fear, because it has happened to me before, and I'll never do that again in my life, So I don't like to reside on the past. I know the things that I've done, but I'm constantly looking forward to the future. So that's what makes me get up at 7 in the morning, run a couple miles, then go beat up guys, and then do it all over again at night. That's what motivates me constantly, that I know I got something more.
Your fight with Ben Askren, is that the fastest knockout in UFC history?
Yeah.
It is. Okay,
knockout.
it's still. So
Yes, sir.
I've watched that fight a million times. I actually missed it when you actually did it because I was waiting for the popcorn. I'll never make that mistake again. When I watch that, you almost look like you know what the fight is going to be. It's almost prophetic, your facial expressions, and you almost basically trip over the guy's head. Did you visualize that happening? I mean,
Yes. Yes.
I thought so. So do you visualize like quick wins? Do you visualize going all rounds? What's your mindset when you visualize stuff like that?
My mindset is not only do I visualize, but I visualize and prepare for every scenario. So I'll give you guys a quick example. So if I throw this jab, there's X, Y, Z counters to this jab, right? So he could go like this, he could go like this. I'm not gonna bore you with all the techniques he could do, but there's a certain amount of those techniques, and each one of those techniques that he could do back to me or that I could do back to him, I will see it in my head. As clear as I could see you guys. This is a gift that God gave me in 4K, and I could see it, and I could break it down, and then I could take that blueprint into the gym and start practicing and practicing and practicing. And then eventually they marry each other. And once they do, I could take it into the fight and show it to the world. You know, that's how I've always done it, and I still do it.
Hey, what's up, Jorge? My name is Daniel, Savage Roofing. Mad respect from the Street Fighter. We got a lot of Street Fighters in our company, so I really love watching your YouTube stuff. So the question I want to ask you is, what is the biggest value you pull away from when you lose?
The biggest value from when you lose?
Yeah, like how do you, what does that do to you, and how do you make that better for yourself?
So one thing in my sport that's pretty cool is that you could lose but never have given up, you know? You could have just fought somebody that was better than you, more technical. The person just was that day better than you, but you never gave up. You always kept going for the finish and stuff like that. And that gives you something to hang on to, right? Like, my will's never been broken. Okay, we could keep doing this. Same thing as business, because you might go bankrupt or belly up, but if you still got that, I'm going to go out there, raise money no matter what, think about everything I did wrong, and again, invest and make everything tighter, better, and you do it again, you know? And that's what mainly helps me, I think.
What's up, Jorge? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Good. Hey, once you get all the wins, you know, you got 10, 15, 20 belts or more, what's next?
I'm gonna chase winners for a long. I've grown up in the gym for a while. You know, like those guys over there, they were in the gym always with me and stuff. They know. I'm gonna go chase winners and stuff. Go ski for a little bit. You know, I'm a Florida boy, so I love the snow now. So I can't get enough of it. So after I'm done fighting, like 7, 8 years from now, I heard about this thing now, stem, so it's making me like brand new. So I might fight till I'm 50 years old. But when the time comes that I'm done fighting, I'm gonna ski for a while. Yes, sir.
Round of applause. Stand up if you appreciate the BMF coming out here, representing for the American dream. This man is the American dream, man.
Let me close on one thing. Greatest country in the world by far. I've been all over the world times two. Greatest country in the world. God bless America. God bless everybody.
Yeah! What a great job by Mr. Jorge, and I can tell you from that story, when he hooked up with Abe, that's when he made a lot of money. He also, one of the things, I heard that story about the training in the reality camp, and he said that the athletes really helped him. He picked their brain. The mastermind and being around other successful athletes and implementing what they do into what you do and putting yourself in proximity to that. This is one of the most important things of the mastermind concept. It's not just you getting smarter, taking my information. It's that you're taking information from everybody, that we all make each other better, and it's the combination of everybody's mind that holds you accountable to get the best person that you need to be. So here's the deal. You know you need more customers. You know you need more people. You know you want to keep the party going and come have steak dinner at Live nightclub. Look, I want to be your guide. This concludes the American Dream Conference, but look, it's not too late. Please, go see Natalie. Everybody in the back, raise your hand. I want to say all the group back here, they're still accepting applications. We are not filled up, and we want to make sure that nobody misses out on the opportunity. We have funding options. I'm offering in-house funding, but the number one thing that you need to do is have faith in your belief. Have faith in your dream. Invest into yourself, just like this man's willing to invest his heart and soul and to go risk it all in a cage. So thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the team. The team is all about Cherry, Natalie, Tanya, my wife. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you.